Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Message from Somaliland to Turkey. Turkey signed a maritime deal defense agreement with Somalia a few weeks ago, and after that, speculation started that maybe Turkey will deploy its warships to Somaliland's territorial waters to undermine Ethiopia Somaliland MOU. Now, reportedly, according to a senior Somaliland official, Somaliland has sent a message to Turkey about its agreement, Turkey's agreement with Somalia. Secondly, protest on Ethiopia Sudan border, on Amhara Sudan border. Who protested? What happened? And thirdly, viewers, heavy rains are causing flooding in Ethiopia, Kenya as well. More than 200 killed in Kenya, in Ethiopia, situation alarming. Two deaths in Addis Ababa, deaths in central Ethiopian region too, where 5 died according to the government officials. Firstly, viewers, it was the 1st of January when Ethiopia and Somaliland signed a controversial MOU which would grant access to Ethiopia to the sea through Somaliland in return for Ethiopia recognizing Somaliland as a country. Ethiopia would be able to establish a naval base too in Somaliland, and Somaliland will acquire shares in Ethiopian profitable entities like Ethiopian Airlines, etc. MOU is still an MOU. It could not translate into an agreement, but to offset, to undermine this MOU by Somalia, Somalia signed a defense treaty with Turkey. Somalia from day one has been opposing Ethiopia's Somaliland MOU, calling it a violation of Somalia's territorial integrity and sovereignty. When Somalia signed its defense pact with Turkey, it said that Turkey would protect Somalia's territorial waters and train Somalia's naval, air, and ground forces. Now it's open to interpretation. When Somalia says Turkey would protect Somalia's territorial waters, does it mean that Turkey would deploy its assets to Somaliland territorial waters as well? Will it try to stop Ethiopia from establishing a naval base in Somaliland's coastal areas if the MOU turns into an agreement? These are questions which will be answered in coming months if the MOU is implemented. Meanwhile, Somaliland has sent a message to Turkey. Dr. Isa Kaid is Somaliland's foreign minister, and he talked to a news outlet yesterday. He said that Somaliland has made it clear to Turkey that Turkish naval assets cannot enter Somaliland's territorial waters. It means we saw a Turkish warship arrive in Mogadishu more than a week ago. Hassan Sheikh, Somalia's president, welcomed Turkish naval officers. It seems that so far Turkish naval assets are not deployed to Somaliland's territorial waters. But if any progress is made and Ethiopia starts building a naval base in Somaliland, what will Turkey do? It's still a question which is open to discussions. Meanwhile, Ethiopia is silent. Somaliland again said, Dr. Isakai talking to the news outlet, that the MOU is in finalization phase, MOU with Ethiopia. And a few days ago, the same minister said that within 2 months, the MOU will turn into an agreement and details are being sorted out. Three locations have been finalized for the establishment of Ethiopian naval base. Ethiopia will pick one, and Within 60 days, the MOU will turn into an agreement. Again, silence on Ethiopians. Then we heard from Somaliland's Ports Authority chairman who said that within the next few weeks, a tariff agreement will be signed about Ethiopia using Berbera port, and that Ethiopia would divert 30% of its cargo from Djibouti's ports to Somaliland's Berbera port. So whatever is coming, it's coming from Somaliland side. Ethiopia is silent. Somaliland has confirmed it has sent a message to Turkey that Turkey cannot deploy its naval assets to Somaliland territorial waters. Where is Ethiopia? Let's see. Secondly, viewers, a protest on Ethiopia-Sudan border, or we can say Amhara-Sudan border as well. Amhara region of Ethiopia shares a long border with Sudan. And since April last year, when war broke out between Rapid Support Forces and Sudanese military in Sudan, tens of thousands of people from Sudan have been entering Ethiopia. Some of them are Ethiopians, by the way, because Sudan was hosting around 60,000 Ethiopian refugees, and then there were other Ethiopians too in Sudan working there. Ethiopians are returning and Sudanese are fleeing. All of them are entering Ethiopia through two border crossings, Matimma, which is on Amhara Sudan border, and the other one is on Benishangal Gumuz, Ethiopia Sudan border. There are several, at least three Sudanese refugee camps in Ethiopia. One is in Benishangal Gumuz, Karmok, I think. Two in Amhara region, Olala, Omar. And around 1,000 people have entered Ethiopia since last year from Sudan, and among these 1,000, around 30,000 are Sudanese. These Sudanese people, refugees, protested last week near Matimma on Amhara Sudan, Ethiopia Sudan. Why did they protest? Well, UN High Commissioner for Refugees Department reported a few days ago that some Amhara militias were involved in attacks on these Sudanese refugees at a camp, Kumar camp in Amhara region, and that refugees' belongings were being looted, their belongings were being stolen, and they're being abducted. Kidnapping for ransom was also rampant. The Sudanese refugees say that they're facing all types of problems at the camps. In Amhara, in Benishangal Gumuz, they're fleeing the camps. They are marching towards Sudanese border. They want to return to Sudan. They say that the war in Sudan is better than living conditions in Ethiopia. 3 women raped, according to Sudanese refugees. That 3 of their women have been raped, their belongings stolen, their fellow refugees abducted for ransom. Not enough food is being provided, not adequate medical care is being provided, no security. That is why people are in danger and they want to return to their country. So they protested against Ethiopian authorities too, but mainly UNHCR is responsible for taking care of these refugees. It's not Ethiopian government's responsibility to provide aid, though out of solidarity, obviously Ethiopian government can help these refugees too, but it's mainly the UN which is taking care of these refugees. And the protest in a way was against the UN, but it was also against Ethiopian government, because Amhara militias have been found involved in some attacks on these refugee camps in Amhara region. So it's the responsibility of the Ethiopian government to deploy security officials to protect the Sudanese refugees in Ethiopia. Thousands marched toward the border. Border was not open, so the refugees are still at these camps in the Amhara and Benishangul Gum region of Ethiopia. Lastly, viewers, heavy rains are causing flooding in Ethiopia and Kenya. Situation is very dire in Kenya. Around 200, more than 200 deaths confirmed so far by Kenyan authorities. Hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced. In Ethiopia, situation less dire, but still it's alarming, keeping in view that the Rainy season will start after almost a month. Before the start of rainy season, we are seeing flooding. Flooding in Addis Ababa, capital, 3 died, and then 5 deaths confirmed yesterday in Halaba zone of central Ethiopian region. Authorities have confirmed there are 5 deaths. Let's hope that the government is able to make preparations in advance before the start of rainy season. Otherwise, the way we are seeing the flooding due to rains and casualties, situation could deteriorate in June. Let's see what happens. Thank you.